Tyler Glasnow's story unfolds like one of those rare baseball narratives that feels almost literary in the way it balances raw physical talent with all the twists, setbacks, and breakthroughs that shape a player into something far more compelling than just a collection of statistics. His journey begins long before he ever walked onto a major league field, back in Newhall, California, surrounded by a family that understood athleticism, discipline, and the push and pull of commitment better than most. His mother, Donna, a competitive gymnast turned coach, brought structure and a deep belief in the obsessive pursuit of improvement. His father, Greg, provided steadiness, perspective, and a grounded sense of humor that followed Tyler through every stage of his development. And then there was his older brother, Ted, who broke open Tyler's understanding of what athletic drive really looks like by becoming one of the best volleyball players in the world. In that household, expectations weren't about pressure, they were about potential. There was always the sense that if you had the ability, the work ethic was assumed. And if you had the work ethic, you owed it to yourself to chase the best version of your craft. For Tyler, baseball wasn't just a path he stumbled onto. It was the living, breathing structure that helped him make sense of his own body as he kept growing, stretching upward like a redwood that could barely be contained by the youth fields he started on. He was tall in a way that forced him to relearn things constantly: timing, balance, coordination, velocity. But he had a gift that coaches could feel the moment he stepped on the mound. His arm didn't just throw baseballs, it launched them with a natural whip that people couldn't help staring at. Yet even as a teenager, there was an awareness that talent wasn't enough. His family emphasized discipline over glamour, technique over raw power, and patience over hype. Those values stuck to him like a second skin. When the Pittsburgh Pirates drafted him, the wider baseball world started hearing what scouts had been whispering: that this towering right-hander was one of the most unhittable arms in the minors. The combination of length, velocity, and a curveball that could practically disappear still felt impossibly unfair. But Glasnow's early career wasn't a picture of effortless dominance. It was a portrait of a young pitcher whose body and mechanics were still trying to synchronize at his size. He had the world's most intimidating fastball and a breaking ball that looked like it had been drawn by a video game designer. Yet he struggled with consistency, command, and the unpredictable rhythm of pitching at the highest level. Those years taught him humility and resilience. They taught him how to listen, to coaches, to his own body, to the game itself, and how to rebuild his delivery until it worked in harmony with the body he carried. His family remained his anchor throughout those early struggles. They reminded him that growth doesn't move in a straight line. They reinforced that the players who last are the ones who embrace discomfort, self-correction, and the willingness to be reconstructed step by step from the ground up. That grounding influence carried him into the turning point of his career, the trade to the Tampa Bay Rays. What looked like a typical mid-season transaction became one of the most transformative shifts in modern pitcher development. Tampa didn't want to change him into something different. They wanted him to fully become who he already was. They encouraged his fastball, encouraged his aggression, and freed him to pitch with the unleashed power he had spent years trying to refine. This period marked the first true flourishing of Tyler Glasnow as a force in the major leagues. His outings started to feel like theatrical events: towering frame, flowing delivery, and that devastating pitch mix that left hitters guessing even when they knew what was coming. The fastball rode high and violent. The curveball fell off the table like a trapdoor opening. And the slider added another layer of cruelty for batters who didn't have time to adjust. He became one of those pitchers who didn't just dominate, he radiated intimidation. Yet behind all that intensity was still the kid shaped by discipline, family structure, and the belief that preparation was the closest thing to control anyone gets in a sport ruled by unpredictability. Then came the adversities that would define him even further. Injuries struck in ways few pitchers ever forget. The sudden pain, the weeks of tests, the slow, frustrating rebuilds. Tommy John surgery became more than a medical procedure. It became a lesson in endurance, patience, and relearning your craft from zero. But in typical Glasnow fashion, he didn't merely return. He returned sharpened, matured, and more attuned to the mechanics of his own body. His family stepped in again, not as cheerleaders, but as steady hands keeping him connected to normalcy and perspective. Pain teaches, setbacks teach, and recovery teaches. and Tyler internalized all of it until he became a pitcher defined not just by talent, but by the resilience required to survive professional baseball. His next chapter, joining the Los Angeles Dodgers, became another evolution. Here was a team known for extracting the absolute peak out of elite arms, placing them in a system built on precision, analytics, and trust. Glasnow stepped onto that mound not as a prospect trying to find his place, nor as a comeback story fighting for validation, but as a veteran ready to anchor rotations, mentor younger pitchers, and pitch with the freedom of someone who finally understands exactly who he is in this game. The Dodgers valued what he brought not just in innings or strikeouts, but in presence, the calm intensity, the meticulous work habits, the ability to turn a clubhouse into a place of both professionalism and levity. Off the field, Glasnow's bond with his family remained an unbreakable foundation. Even as the bright lights of superstardom grew around him, he never lost the sense of grounding he inherited from childhood, the belief that life is bigger than fame, that resilience is a family value as much as a personal achievement, and that gratitude is something you practice through consistency, not words. His parents, now watching their once gangly teenager become one of baseball's most recognizable pitchers, never pushed him toward the spotlight. They simply reminded him to stay authentic, thoughtful, and grateful for the opportunities he earned. Those values shaped him into not just a respected athlete, but a respected human being. Throughout these years, Glasnow evolved into the kind of pitcher young players study, not because he is flawless, but because he shows what it looks like to grow honestly, struggle openly, and rise repeatedly. His mechanics became a masterpiece of controlled chaos, a blend of natural gifts and rebuilt fundamentals. His mindset shifted from self-doubt to ownership, from frustration to mastery. Every pitch he throws now feels like the culmination of thousands of tiny adjustments made over a lifetime, the fingerprints of coaches, mentors, family members, and the pitcher himself. And that's what makes Tyler Glasnow's story so compelling. It is not simply the arc of a talented athlete finding success. It is the story of someone continuously transformed by learning, by injuries, by introspection, and by the unwavering support of the people who raised him. His career reflects power, intelligence, adaptability, and an artist's sensitivity to the craft of pitching. His family represents the foundation beneath all that success, the quiet stability, the accountability, the encouragement, and the values that shaped everything he would become. Even now, as he stands among the game's most formidable pitchers, the narrative continues. His innings, his performances, and even his setbacks all contribute to the larger portrait of a player who has always understood that potential is merely the invitation. The real work is in the molding of it. And Tyler Glasnow molded his potential through trial, discipline, reinvention, and heart. To watch him pitch is to witness the harmony of natural force and learned control. To watch him grow is to understand why his journey resonates far beyond the mound. His story is still unfolding, still stretching into the seasons ahead, carrying all the possibility and all the wisdom he has earned. And as he continues carving out his legacy, the influence of his family, the discipline of his mother, the steadiness of his father, the benchmark set by his brother, remains the quiet heartbeat behind the thunder of his fastball and the artistry of his breaking pitches. Everything he has become is a reflection of talent shaped by guidance, ambition shaped by humility, and passion shaped by purpose. Thank you for spending this time reflecting on the journey of a pitcher whose path through baseball shows what dedication, resilience, and strong family roots can build. If this tribute gave you a deeper understanding of his craft and his character, be sure to stay connected for more stories that honor the athletes who shape the game we love. Your support and your presence mean everything, and I appreciate you for being part of this moment. Until next time, keep celebrating the stories, the journeys, and the players who continue to inspire us all.